Testing. All right. Oh, it's been quite a while. Gonna kind of set up here for a little bit, because just pushing that streaming button was difficult enough, honestly. Now that I've pushed it, things might get a little bit easier. Hey, Chunky. All right, let's see. Looks like we are in business. Okay. Yeah, it's almost bedtime. I had a spurt of motivation, and I figured I may as well just freaking push that dadgum stream button. Even if it's only for an hour or two, you know? Let me get my camera working here. I'm wearing a bathrobe right now because oh, my room is super dirty too. I may as well do it. It's all about getting over that reluctance anyways. Hello. Let's see. Camera. There we go. Awesome. Okay, well, you can't tell it's that dirty from this angle, so maybe it's okay. You're confused as to why I'm not wearing my headset. It's because I think I have an ear infection. So I usually only wear it in spurts instead of, you know, I spend 16 hours a day on the computer, you know. I gotta take breaks with the headphones. When I was, oh gosh, like 2010 maybe, when I was in 8th grade, my left eardrum ruptured. Nobody knows why. I don't know why. It just happened in the middle of class. There wasn't like a loud noise or anything. I have no idea what caused it, but I had a ruptured eardrum and it hurt a lot, and I can't remember how we fixed it, but I think it eventually went away by itself, like it healed by itself or something. I can't remember. Anyways, ever since then, my left ear produces either one, it produces too much earwax, or two, it doesn't clean it out fast enough, if that makes any sense. It can't keep up anymore. So every couple of years I gotta clean out my ear. And I've been kind of overdue to do that, but unfortunately I put it off for too long, and then now I have like pretty heavy tinnitus. So that is health problems. On to mental health problems. Most people have depression these days, you know. But I decided, hey, you know, I'm gonna go and talk to a doctor, and maybe he can get me some pills or something, you know. Because, you know, why not? I'm pretty functional, even without pills. I figured I may as well. They're great. I am taking sertraline and Adderall. The reason he prescribed me Adderall is because he says that sometimes, because I technically have ADD. Yeah, I feel you, Chunky. Oh, right. The doctor prescribed me Adderall because ADD can affect depression, or at least cause it in some way. It's kind of like a snowball effect. And it's funny because when I was regularly streaming half reality stuff, that was probably the highest point of my life, to be perfectly honest. Even though in a cabin, kind of in the middle of nowhere, like, and I suspect it's because I had a lot of purpose and I was motivated. There's, a slight pressure to stream because people expected it, right? And that kind of pressure is kind of good sometimes, right? Um, but in this case, I guess it also could have been bad too. It's hard to say, honestly. I'm not super good at reading my own emotions, so I figure, just explaining in a giant rant to you guys. Maybe you guys can come up with some theories or something. But just the fact that I pushed the button, I think, might be enough to hopefully get me streaming again. If at the very minimum, just do it casually. You know what I mean? So they prescribed me Adderall. For those who don't know, Adderall is designed to help you focus. Now, the dosage I get would usually make people not crazy, but like it would. Adderall is a controlled substance, apparently, which means they can only give out 3 months worth at a time or something, because college students abuse it, apparently, just to help them focus and whatnot. But for me, it actually helps me function normally, which is surprising, because like I didn't know how much better I could have it until I started taking it. I was like, wow, I can get a lot done, or at least a regular amount, So once I realized I could really, focus and stuff, I decided to go to school. I'm not going to school necessarily, but I am going to an online school. It is called Dave School. Let me, hold on. I think there's a button. I want to get in the habit of doing this. There's a add stream marker button. I'm going to push that. Hopefully that'll work. Okay, so because I'm going to go through the description and try to make like a table of contents of my rantings. People can catch up faster without having to listen to the entire, dissertation, I think is the fancy word for it. Okay, so Adderall School. It's called Dave School, D-A-V-E, Digital Animation and Visual Effects. I've got Sandbox open on the model doc, but I'll show you guys some of what I've done before, because why not? All right, so digital animation and visual effects. I am doing their 18-month program, which is a combination of visual effects and game design. So, in other words, I could either help make movies or I could make games. They both mesh really well, honestly. Hey, Sebastian. Right now, we are mostly focused on modeling. We have touched a bit on texturing, UV mapping, and materials. But we finally come full circle, and now we're working on something that's called subdivision modeling. So I'm gonna give you guys, let's see, gonna work my way up, show you guys what I first started with, and then where I'm at now. Let's see. This is one of my earliest pieces of homework, I think. Oh fudge, I think I'm opening Photoshop. I don't want to do that. Oh, hey, Sci-Fi Free. Good to see you. I remember You remember when we met on Desync stream? That was like 8 months ago. I can't remember. But that's how I remember you the most. It's like we happened to see each other. Alright, so let's see. Open with photos. There we go. One of the first things I made. This is one of... So we were doing like 3 weeks of modeling before we started doing lighting. Now for those who don't know, I am terrible at lighting because in my two years of animation, all the lighting is done for me, right? The Black Mesa, the maps have all the lights you need, right? Oh, hey, little Piff. The maps have all the lights you need. You know, you don't really need to add anything. I never worried about camera angles either because I just did first-person animations. So practicing this lighting stuff is super useful. It's super important for me. Xeris. I hope I said that right. Xeris. BMBS, indeed. Yeah, Little Piff is a Black Mesa Blue Shift developer. As am I, for those who don't know. Let's see. Next, this one. Dadgummit. And then I did some there was this one, and just kind of working our way up from there. I didn't make this. It's a Maya thing. I did make this. Not the person, but everything else in this image. Now, hopefully most of you guys can hopefully recognize this scene. Yeah, I mean, like, some of you guys aren't super active on like, source engine Discord or whatever. And I haven't been either, honestly. So, YouTube streams are probably a good way to kind of get back into it, I suppose. Maybe chunky, maybe. To a degree, yes. I've never really stopped, but I have kind of branched off to different, not different projects, but things that would help make half reality, but it isn't me directly animating, if that makes any sense. Some more stuff, and then there was. I'll get to that in a bit, though. Yeah, me and Chonky and a couple other people. Oh yeah, you know, that brings up another thing. One of the other reasons why I've been so reluctant to stream and haven't done it in such a long time is because I don't want to be celebrity. That or people treat me too much like a celebrity. Now, I mean, ever since I stopped, things have gotten more and more casual, and I've come to enjoy hanging out with you guys more, at least on Discord, right? But for whatever reason, sometimes it feels like, you know, people treat me like a celebrity, like they only join voice calls when I'm in there. Otherwise, they kind of just don't care, you know, like, at first it was really validating and it felt good, but I'm like, I'm starting to lean towards wanting a more casual experience, I suppose. You know what I mean? I'm just an animator. And even then, I'm not nearly as good as Little Piff, for instance. Yeah. Little Piff is a fantastic animator. He does, gosh, you do pretty much everything. But he's most known for his first-person animations for Black Mesa Blue Shift. The thing that makes me unique is my motion capture. That and the fact that I have money. Those are the two things. Actually, honestly, everything just lands on money, honestly. the fact that I can afford motion capture equipment and a computer to run all of it. Oh, hey, Jacob. Good to see you, man. I love that emoji. Oh, gosh. Oh, what was I saying? C12, indeed. We got lots of fun people. I can't remember what else I was talking about. I'll go through some of this. I made this pretty recently. This was in Unreal. They are teaching us Unreal lately. This was pretty fun to make. Pretty difficult, honestly, trying to wrap my head around Unreal Engine's. I think we're in UE4, using UE4's lighting system and all the different freaking parameters for everything. It's not nearly as intuitive as Source Filmmaker, for instance. This was fun to make. I made this a week or two ago. I was inspired by Kevin's. We were told to make a crate and an oil drum. So I made a ratchet strap, which is what you can see right here. Some little gold that hooks it together. And I threw some text in Photoshop, and I kind of tried to copy Kevin's style a little bit. Yeah. It's all right. I'm getting better though. Let's see some of the other stuff I've done. I made this. This prop in the background is turbine from Lambda Complex, I believe. But I made it from scratch. Just for fun, I think, and then I put a hole in it. Anyways, we're learning modeling stuff anyway. And then in 6 weeks, we're gonna switch away from modeling to the next semester. I'm not sure, not semester, but next section. I'm not sure what we're going to be learning. I'm very curious. So far, I really enjoy modeling, though. Alright, so we talked about drugs, physical health, mental health, school. Alright, my schedule. So, and now that I'm doing school, I'm not going to be streaming 10 hours a day like I used to way back when. I was 10 hours a day. I was so motivated. I wish I could get that back, you know. But now I'm spending, I mean, it really varies depending on the difficulty of the assignment. But generally speaking, I'm spending either most of my day in class and or doing homework. But I almost always have at least 6 to 8 hours of free time every day. Not to mention, I get every Friday off. We only have school Monday through Thursday. It's not really a true weekend off, though, because they assign a larger project over the weekend that you're supposed to complete. I mean, which is nice in some ways, but difficult in others. Someone like me procrastinates a lot. Having like too much time to do a project, especially over, you know, a 3-day weekend, can kind of be sketchy. But it's also has a useful side effect of making me more disciplined, I guess, right? Reaching deadlines. And that's not a muscle, quote unquote, a muscle I've exercised since I was in high school. That discipline to get projects done on time muscle. Yeah, right. I mean, like, taking a break was good, but that break was a little bit long, honestly. Oh, gosh. I'll show you guys what I'm doing in my free time. Just so you know, I haven't given up on Half Reality. This is the model doc editor for Sandbox. I got a Sandbox key thanks to my work with Eagle One. Maybe like, yes, exactly. But more specifically, I am messing around with sequences. Now, in Source Filmmaker, you can import sequences and like try to blend them together, but it's kind of time consuming. And it's, it's better than animating things by hand, that's for sure, but it's still kind of time consuming a little bit. Uh, Source 2 has this thing called, indeed, Source 2. Source 2 has this thing called an anim graph. Now, before I'm pretty sure you had to hand code the bridge between, like, NPC, AI, and animations. Like, you had to hand code all the junk together or something. Like, it was like QC stuff up the wazoo. But now, with the anim graph editor, I'll open that up real quick. It's node based. So even a non-programmer like me can make procedurally generated animations. In other words, if I get this working well enough, half reality can be made much faster because the legs and the body will be handled for me. The arms too, for the most part. Honestly, like I could even use some of the sequenced aiming animations, Same thing goes with NPCs, right? A lot of the NPCs I've had to do so far have either been like a literal recording of Black Mesa, and like a head crab jumping or a barnacle or something, or I've had to hand animate that NPC, or at least mocap it to a degree, and that was pretty difficult, right? Anim grab the image, yeah, basically. Here is, gosh, I was messing. There's so much potential, honestly, because it just like it blends all the different walking directions together, and it bases it on the root transform movement, and it handles so many things for you. It is. I haven't even fully learned it yet, so I can't adequately. I'm trying to find. Terry's. The Sandbox character, the freaking pill dude. Is Unity's anim graph pretty bad? I'm not looking. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it, but at the same time, I don't know. I agree, Jacob. I agree. In my mind, if I can't render half reality in Source 2, which is what I want to do eventually, I have to deal with shader code and maybe even some entity AI and stuff like that. But even if I can't render in Source 2, I can absolutely, most likely, transfer animations from Source 2 to Source 1 because I'm not changing the bones at all. They're going to stay the same, right? I'm making custom anim graphs. I'm not using Half-Life Alyx's anim graphs that they use for, Combine and stuff like that. I'm using the sequences and stitching together, So, if I can't render in Source 2, I can render in Source 1 Filmmaker, but port the animations over. And that will help so much. Alright, what am I looking for? Here we go. This is Terry. That's what people call him. This is Terry's anim graph. It is very large. A little bit too overwhelming, honestly, so. But like they've got different poses for pretty much everything. Like Where is... Trying to find a good example. I mean, they've got poses for, you know, shotguns, holding items while crouching, standing, and low crouching. Like, they've got everything. It's just, it's nice that it's node based at least. Not to hand code it like source one. Fanboy, yeah, apparently it's called Terry, yeah. This is actually an older version. Like, I think this is 2 or 3 months old. I'm pretty sure it's even bigger now. Because I think this is a public thing. People just kind of like whatever they do to Terry's anim graph, they just kind of throw together. And then everybody gets, you know, this nice fancy anim graph. So I'm pretty sure this isn't just the work of 1 or 2 people, you know, I'm pretty sure this is many people. But anyways, I can't really venture into the anim graph until I finish this one, which is the basic anim graph that came with Half-Life Alyx. Much more simple, and it explains everything in detail. So it's kind of what I've been. It's kind of been my passion project for a little while. It's attempting this anim graph stuff, or at least fixing the source one import Python tools. Not fixing the tools, but fixing the effects of the tools, I guess. Is it Python takes care of most everything, and then I have to go in and maybe fix a couple things here and there. The other thing I've been spending a lot of time on is, I'm quite proud of this. It is literally every Black Mesa map in one Source 2 map. Yeah, it's been quite the project. I mean, it's one thing to just kind of stitch them together, but I took it to the next level, and I wanted to slightly modify each map. That way, number one, they don't overlap over top of each other, and number two, oh gosh, this one I think, and number two, they actually make sense geographically when on the surface, and by that I mean outside. What I'm planning on doing is making like a Black Mesa roleplay map, but that you can literally drive anywhere on the Mesa and visit all the different landmark Half-Life locations. Just kind of just a passion project. The problem is, it is exceedingly close to breaking the 1 gigabyte limit. Yes, this map is 1 gigabyte. Almost 1 gig. The thing, normally I wouldn't even consider doing something like this, right? Like, there's no point. Nobody's gonna visit every single map while they're role playing, you know what I mean? But it was still fun just to push the limits of Source 2 and Sandbox. You can see how long it's taking to load. Sometimes it takes up to like 15 minutes to load this stupid map. I ordered 64 gigs of RAM, which should be coming in a couple days, and hopefully that means I can finally compile this map, because 16 gigs of RAM is not enough to compile Source 2 maps, apparently. I've done it before, but I mean, I could put it anywhere. I'll make it public, as well as the assets. I mean, I have to make the assets public, because the deal, I didn't necessarily make a deal, but I asked permission from Faber, you know, Black Mesa Blue Shift lead developer. Oh gosh, I can't remember who the lead of PSR Digital is. Dyke, I think. I asked Dyke, and I also asked Adam, who is the lead dev of Crowbar Collective. I asked all of them, and they basically all said the same thing. which is as long as you don't sell our assets or put them behind a paywall and you give accurate credit, then you can use our assets for whatever you want. What that entails, because Sandbox will most likely not be free to play, means that I need to, like, whatever assets I port, I need to put on a Google Drive so that anyone can download them. And that's how I'm going to solve that problem, for now at least. Valve has the same policy. Chris Bryant, I can't remember. I know Chris Bryant is up there, but I mean, you know better than me, Chalky. I talked to some of them. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, it's almost done. I'm kind of excited to show you guys because it is a passion of mine, I suppose. I spent pretty much ever since I stopped streaming Half Reality, I've been working on this map. That's how long it's taken me. Now, technically speaking, it's... So in Source 1, there are instances, right? But in Source 2, there are prefabs. But also instances. I guess they're kind of the same thing. Anyways, I basically made every Source 1 map a prefab. And then I would just align all the prefabs together. Now, it's in wireframe mode right now because if I did it in shaded mode, it would probably crash. Before I switch to shaded mode, I need to disable pretty much everything. So, all the entities. Now, push that button and it lags for a good 2 seconds. Pretty much, yeah, if I get rid of block light. So, Source 2's version of no draw is called block light. It's called solid block light. It's different from normal block light, which is still functional, I think. It's different, but it's kind of the same. It's hard to describe. Anyways, turn that off, and then replaces, basically, Source 2 replaces all Source 1 no draw textures with what's called solid block light. So if you see me turn this, you can't really see it because resolution may not be. If you're watching at 720 or 1080p, you're probably not going to be able to see this. I've got a bigger monitor now. Like I almost want to call it 3.5K monitor. It's not quite 4K, and it's not 2K. These things indeed. Yeah, I think you're right, Mac, man. It makes sense. I don't actually know that much about half of Alex's development, which is kind of ironic. Anyways, I'm getting really distracted. The next thing I need to hide is static props. And now you probably can't see it, so I'm just gonna expand it a little bit. Let me see if I can. Okay, maybe not. There are 55,000 static props and almost 100,000 faces. Hey Vod, good to see you, man. So I gotta also get rid of the static props. So now all that's left is that stuff. So now we switch to shaded mode, and then we should probably hide the skyboxes as well. Okay, there we go. So the other amazing thing about Sandbox is that they've removed the grid limit. You can build outside of the grid now. You're right, MacMan. You're not wrong. It's a lot of static props. What else is I gonna say? Right. Sandbox removed the grid limit. You can build outside of the grid now. However, the downside is that as you go farther and farther away from the grid, lighting and physics gets more and more wonky. Right? but you can build outside of the limit now, which is pretty nice. And you'll see why here, right? So this is the skybox, right? You think, oh, it's like, okay, that's pretty cool, right? But this skybox is real-world scale. Let me prove it to you. Here is an info player start. If it doesn't crash, it might. Where is my info player start? I made one. Give it to me. Right there, please. Hello? Let me go over here. What? What the fudge? Okay, well, I'll put something else that's a good... What's another good, only limited by the distance at which floating points begin. Okay, you're just talking nonsense, Jacob, but I really appreciate it. Vertices begin having floating... Yeah, okay. Hey, Eunice. Good to see you, man. Right, here's the thing. I've made them real-world scale so you can drive around and walk around in them. And it's super fun. I did a test compile. And it turns out that I literally got in a car and I drove around the surface tension skybox for 20 minutes. I got lost. I got lost in this skybox. Okay, I'm getting really distracted. Okay, so what I'm trying to do now is show you guys the human scale, because right now it's not super apparent just how big, just how much it works. I think I updated the FDG to include Black Mesa stuff, so, oh gosh. Let me try NPC zombie grunt, and maybe that will not crash. We'll see. It's like disappearing. It's really weird. I'll click it and then it just flickers and then disappears. Oh, you know why? Because I turned off entities. That would explain it. There we go. There we go. I made a bunch of, I think I made some duplicate info player starts. Let me go to this one. Here it is. Okay, here is real world scale info player start. All right, let's go over here. A little bit better going on, right? You see how much I have to freaking drag to get anywhere? Okay. 16 times, right? That's how skyboxes are scaled, by 16, right? And you can drive around in this, and it's incredible. Yeah, unfortunately this would not work in Source 1. Yeah. I agree, MacMan. It seems about right for New Mexico. Don't even get me started. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, so we've got that. Let's go. Oh, it's lagging. Don't crash. Yep, it crashed. Okay. So what happened there is I looked. So the reason it was working fine was because I was not looking at the... How many Black Mesa maps are there? Like 70? I'm guessing. I was not looking at the 70 maps. So it ran fine, but as soon as you look at them, things get really laggy and or crash, right? So now I'm going to spend another 15 minutes opening this stupid map again. You see why it's taken me 6 months to get to this point now, right? Use Terry. No, Terry's yucky. I'm going to use a Black Mesa scientist because I can, and I'm a rebel. Also, I tried to compile this map before, and one of the errors I got was that there were too many cube maps. And I was like, okay, so what's the cube map limit for Sandbox? 144. Okay, I guess that's reasonable. How many cube maps did I have in this map? Almost 4,000. 4,000 cube maps. Oh boy. I'm gonna sit here and take the time to open every single map again. I don't know, VOD. I don't think Terry's gonna be a thing if Black Mesa roleplay becomes an actual game mode that people enjoy. I mean, we might include Terry just for the sake of murdering him and crucifying him or something like that. But no, the default player will probably be a scientist, not Terry. No, thank you. So, I can't remember, MacMan. I don't remember how many Black Mesa maps there are. I don't know. I don't know, MacMan. I'm not a Sandbox developer, even though I have a Sandbox key. Ask a Facepunch dev. Yeah, right. I'm like, if I talk too much crap about Facepunch, they're gonna take my key away, and that would be really sad. So, don't tell Facepunch, please. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see it unless you turn up your resolution, but it's loading prefab, and it's loading every single one. Yes, I agree. I agree. What I'm thinking about doing for optimization purposes, I have a couple of ideas. For one, most of the underground abandoned sections of Black Mesa I will probably not include in the compile. Only the portions people are going to use the most, which is every surface map, right? Because this is a surface-based Black Mesa roleplay map. And inbound, anomalous materials, Lambda complex. I think those are the, and blue shift inbound and insecurity. Those are the only underground maps I'm going to be doing, I think, for now. You're gonna lose your key. Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you, VOD. The pressure's real. Like, don't hate me. Could be Christmas and the map would still be loading. Yeah, honestly, this map, 62%. I think this is when it's starting to, when it's done loading the prefabs, it starts actually getting ready. So it should be done in about 30 seconds, I think. Don't quote me on that. You probably should. I'm pretty sure you remember what happened last time, where there was a big culling of people not... As fine as you have playtime? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Because, like, I'm kind of half afraid I'll get cold if I don't play Sandbox, or at least open it once a week. But thankfully, so much of what I do, and just my fun projects in general, are in Source 2 anyways, so it just kind of works out that way. Man, I'm all over the place. I'm enjoying this though. I've been really excited to show you guys what I have been doing. So I haven't been lazy. Oh, questionable ethics. Yes, of course. I almost forgot about that. That's oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. There's so many maps. But like residue processing, probably not. Well, maybe. It depends on if people want to be a poop river maintenance worker or something, you know. Because I probably want to drown an OSHA worker in the poop river, you know. Waterboard him with poop water, you know, that'd be great. It'd be hilarious. I mean, it all depends. The whole point is to attempt to compile every map into one, just to see if it's possible, and then start optimizing, if that makes any sense. Alright, so now we gotta turn off entities. Yeah, oh, I'm not in the army anymore. And that's the reason why I can do this now. Oh, I mean, like, I started out with animation, but as time has gone on and I've met more of you guys and you guys have helped me learn stuff, kind of like how Vod and Jacob have taught me, you know, modeling and stuff, I branched out more and more. Because, I mean, animation's nice, but you can't fully rely on it to make machinimas, right? To really have the full control, it's nice to have a little bit of experience in everything. Modeling, mapping, you know, the works. Okay, we'll turn off block lights, and then we'll turn off static props. And then we will push funny show tool materials button. Okay. Now I'm going to turn around very slowly, but first I'm going to hide all of the underground maps. There are 19 underground maps and 28 surface maps, in this at least. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I actually deleted the ones that I wasn't going to use, straight up. It's still easy to put them back in. I wouldn't worry too much about that. But yeah, I got rid of apprehension, power up, on a rail, except for, oh, I also put on a rail uncut in here too. Alright, so now I'm going to carefully and slowly turn around, so it doesn't lag too much. Oh boy, here we go. Okay. Ta-da. Behold. Black Mesa. I don't know, MacMan. They are normal. Here's the thing. I don't really know Python yet, so but eventually I probably will, and then once I do that, I can start recursively changing a whole bunch of things, right? But until then, I'm relying on Source 2's innate ability to port Source 1 stuff. So most everything is using the Source 1 counterport, or at least the thing that gets ported, I suppose, right? So I'm still using NQMap, but I haven't touched the light probe volumes at all. Right, you just have to be careful, honestly. It's impressive that this even starts. So I kind of want to turn on block light, but I'm afraid that's going to crash stuff. Do I have any other things I can disable? I could turn off lambda complex. I'll do that real quick. What I might do is show you guys just in pieces. Okay, so here's the cool thing that I discovered. Speaking of VOD, that I was gonna bring that exact thing up, VOD. It turns out I didn't have to do that much work to get these maps aligned. For instance, surface tension is the obvious candidate because, you know, Crowbar Collective actually had to pay attention because you could see the next map from the previous map because they always put skybox props, right? And that was useful in what's the word I'm looking for? That was useful in helping to align everything. Not, I mean, honestly, Chunky, like, anything's possible at this point. Sandbox is just that. So, what I've been having a lot of fun doing is, especially for surface tension, because it's the easiest to put together, is, so if it's red like this, that means it's a prefab, right? I have been stitching them together. And this is what it looks like, all at once. This is really cool. And combine light probe volume is a cube map and a light probe volume at the same time, which means less entities. Okay, so maybe I can use entity report, and then change all of them at the same time. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I'm gonna write that down, Macman. Thank you. This is why this is one of the reasons why I miss streaming on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, like, people are making 2D stuff in Sandbox, I think. But I'm not gonna do it. Someone else can do that. If you can make it like an FBX or something, then yeah, I'll give it a try. VYN. I don't understand, but okay. This is ASMR. Yeah, I'm not playing music this time. Maybe I'll do that in the future if I ever start like animating again, you know what I mean? But for now, this is honestly, this is entertainment enough. So we've got, so I don't know if you can see, like the frame rate right now is 60. You can maybe see that if you've got the high enough resolution. But when I start looking at the rest of the map, it goes to 24 or 25 frames a second. So, and that's with static props, 50,000 faces, 50,000 brushes, I think. So 50,000 times 4. And then all the entities turned off, right? And that's just how it runs now. The other thing I'm doing is I'm making very, very heavy use of info visibility box. For now, I'm just going to do a simple box for every prefab. But someday, if I get more help with this, we might do some very in-depth viz boxes, and that might just be enough to make this feasible. The other thing is I have the draw distance set to a higher number than what the default is, which is 500,000. I can't remember what the default is, but if I think it's Control scroll wheel, no, Alt scroll wheel, Shift scroll wheel. I can't remember what the shortcut is for. Anyways, I don't remember what the default one is anyways, but I will remove 10 from this and you'll see what I mean. There. So, doing that in the first place it hasn't changed that much. But what my plan is, what I'm going to do, you send me an FBX. You figure out how to get it, and I will put it in Sandbox. But I'm too lazy to research how to obtain it in the first place. I'm not gonna bother with that. I am all over the place today. What was I talking? Oh, right. Okay. So draw distance. What I'm thinking about doing to assist players who have low spec PCs is make 2 versions of this map. One is the map with all the entities, the lighting, everything, right? The other is a low definition geometry only version of Mesa Map of this map. And then hopefully we can probably include some code for people to just, I mean, if that's not already a menu option, to just have people lower the render distance. And what'll happen is you can see how it gets cut off, like very sharply, right? In Source 2, skyboxes are not like a box somewhere in the map. It is a separate map. What I think I might do is just make an exact copy of this map, size it down by 16, remove most of the details, and add it as a skybox. And then what'll happen is people can drastically lower their draw distance. For instance, if I remove one more 0 from this, so then I have 5,000 draw distance, like that. See, now I get a flat 60 wherever I go, right? No matter which direction I turn, the render distance by far is probably the best way to optimize this, right? I mean, like, oh, you know what those guys are? Hold on, I'm gonna ban them because I think they're bots. Hold on. I was wondering what the freaking chat stuff was. Give me a second. Okay, so now I will hide user on this channel. Okay, and then the other dude, where is he? The people with random letters. I'm pretty sure those are bots, honestly, so I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, so I'm all over the place. Anyways, draw distance, skybox. I'm pretty sure, optimization-wise, I can get this working to a degree. Because just lowering this draw distance here, let me, you know what? Let me keep this draw distance and then enable all the entities in static props. And see what kind of FPS I get. Okay, I'm getting 50. That's great. That's great news. But yeah, this is honestly, when I figured out this was feasible. Oh man. Okay, so just the draws did. Honestly, a draws distance in the skybox would probably be enough for most people. And then when it comes to seeing stuff far away, too bad. You're not going to be a sniper, that's for sure. Pretty sure that it's another bot. They just don't go away. If it happens again, I'm just gonna freaking ignore it. At least I put the freaking, what's it called? Slow-mo mode on. However, the other thing is, let me make a stream marker real quick. You guys can help me with this. I would really appreciate it. You don't need to own Sandbox or Half-Life Alyx. I need help either obtaining or making pre-disaster maps. Now there are many out there already, which is nice, and I think I have permission to use them. I just haven't implemented them yet. But it is incredibly simple for me to import a source 1 map into here and replace it with an existing prefab. It's just swap and go, honestly. Like, I barely have to do anything, right? If you guys want to help, get me pre-disaster maps. And then we need to modify the pre-disaster maps, specifically the entity logic, to probably exclude NPCs. Because while NPCs would be nice, the fact that we're literally doing every single map, there'd probably be a lot of NPCs. So if anything, we'd probably just want to go with generic actor. I'm pretty sure generic actor is just an NPC without AI, right? I'm pretty sure generic actors are just super cheap NPCs. Just to kind of flesh out the world a little bit. Make some generic actors, and then we could plan out some entity IO. Like, we could have facility lockdown and then facility normal IO or something, right? Where the facility lockdown, we could do IO for all the generic NPCs to either leave, like disappear, get replaced with a dead ragdoll, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure actual NPCs, we'd probably want to handle that differently. Oh really? I mean, if it doesn't take that much effort, then yeah, we'd probably just do that. Yeah. The thing is, like, it can kind of break immersion when you push E on a generic actor and it doesn't do anything or even acknowledge you. You know what I mean? So if we do have generic actors, they'd probably be in places that are less accessible. For instance, guard towers, security booths, right? You could have a generic actor in a security booth. You walk through it, the generic actor plays a lookup, press button animation, and then goes back to reading a magazine, and then the door opens, right? That would be easy. Wouldn't break immersion. You can't interact with that NPC anyways, right? Stuff like that. Pre-disaster maps that are modified for roleplay, if that makes any sense. But yeah, now what I think I might do here. Oh gosh. Let me go back through and show you guys more of the surface. Let me turn off all the entities again and the static props. And then I suppose we could attempt to leave block light on and see what happens. Although I'm afraid it might crash again. We'll see. Let me save real quick. Any underground maps we can... I thought I disabled Lambda Complex. That's weird. Okay, we've got... oh yeah, I can't wait to show you guys all the thought I put into this, because like 6 months worth of thought trying to line up everything. Honestly, really fun. Alright, let's cross our fingers and turn up the render distance. 10, apply. I think we'll just stick with 50,000, even though it won't matter much past that. I probably should have switched to wireframe before I did this. I'm gonna do that. Okay. Tools, options, 3D. Apply, apply, apply. Okay. It's not changing the render distance. Why? It's still like cut off right here. Oh, that's shadow draw distance. Oh, my bad. Add 2 zeros to there. Ah, there we go. Okay. You know what? Let's just stay in wireframe mode for now, because that'll probably give the best experience anyways. So. Here is on-rail uncut. Here is on-rail the rocket test. Here is forget about Freeman. And then, oh gosh, where did I put? I'm going to enable it real quick. It is the last 3 maps of blue shift. These right here. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, there's some confliction there. I'm gonna have to fix that. Actually, no, that might work. Okay, yeah, because that's underground. That could work. Okay, we're good. All right, we can't see anything, so I'm going to turn off black light and go to... actually, let me turn off surface tension, because surface tension is probably the heaviest out of all of these. I'll turn off most of surface tension. Okay, that'll probably help with things. Alright, now cross my fingers and go to full bright. Awesome. So, okay, let's turn on black light temporarily. Here is blue shift. Now, the nice thing about blue shift, we've got a very detailed level here, right? And this is kind of annoying because it restricted me a little bit into where I should put this map. But in the end, I think I put it in the right place. I am not sure how dams work. So if you guys want to help... Because, I mean, honestly, the way this map is set up, literally everything revolves around the dam. The dam is the central figure here. Just due to its size, I really can't change too much about it. The only thing I'm changing is right here. You can see this little extrusion I made. Unfortunately, the living quarters, blue shift, and the cafeteria are best placed on opposite sides of the dam. which means there needs to be a tram tunnel that cuts across the river here. At first I thought that was kind of meh, because I mean, that's obviously not how it is in game. However, in Half-Life 1, I'm pretty sure there's a very large concrete structure at the end of this canyon. That's not the dam, if it makes any sense, right? If I remember correctly, that's how it goes. There's like a large concrete structure. So while it may not be lining up with Crowbar Collective's way of doing things, it would with Half-Life 1. And what that will enable is to put living quarters outbound here. And then have that loop around and go, well, I'm going to have this turn right instead of left. I just haven't modified it yet, which really shouldn't be hard. It's literally just this piece right here. Most of the changes I've made have been little things like this, where you make a right turn instead of a left turn, for instance. Alright, so excuse for valid model the entirety of New Mexico. Mexico metaverse. Maybe VOD, maybe, I don't know. The problem with that VOD is you can see that the hasty, what's it called? Let me enable surface tension 8. The hasty combination of skyboxes I did here. These are the most prominent skyboxes in Black Mesa. There's only room for both of these, right? These two. So, number one, we gotta stitch these together and then somehow blend the textures together too. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. I don't know about that. Then the next thing is going further beyond this. Now, Source 2 makes it really easy to export, like, this, for instance. Like, I've already exported this and put it into World Generator, I think? Hey, Sevco. I mean, I was thinking about it, honestly. I was like, oh, why not just have the dam just empty straight into the canyon? And then it hit me. That is what all of this erosion is. There was a river here at one point that emptied into this river. Then Black Mesa built a dam, and then they discovered, wait a second, this erosion is going to become a problem. So they made an outflow pipe. It makes so much sense, right? And so one of the fun things I had doing was just kind of lining up the outflow pipe to the same level of water, right there, just to get that continuity going. Hello, Mont. So now we've got, you know, so that solves the problem of the outflow of the river. The other thing is, though, where does the river come from? So I was able to fit residue processing in here. I had to modify it a bit, and you can tell I still have to do a little bit more modification. But I put residue processing here, right? The other thing is the inbound skybox. The first second map of inbound, or maybe it's the third. I can't remember. Let me see. Yeah, the second map of inbound. Let me just hold on. Let me just open it up real quick. I think I've got the unedited version because I've literally switched the letters from BM to MB for Mesa Box. That was Iwata's proposed name for Black Mesa roleplay in Sandbox. So we go to single player inbound. That's not it. maps. Inbound, and then this, I believe. And hopefully this will... Okay, never mind. But I'm pretty sure you guys remember just how big the inbound skybox is. You can kind of see some of the brush going off to the side over here, but it's huge. I had to... This is the one skybox I had to destroy the most. But every other skybox actually fits pretty well together. It's kind of neat, honestly. Yes, Sepco, I am attempting to put every Source 1 Black Mesa map into one Source 2 map. And not only doing that, but trying to line them up in a way that makes geographical sense. That way you can literally just climb out and walk across the desert. You know what I mean? So, let me close this real quick. Okay, so back to the other problem I had, which was the dam. The dam is, you know, the biggest central landmark. I can't get rid of it. I probably shouldn't modify it too much, right? The reservoir would probably be right here. You know, that makes sense. From in-game, it cuts off like this, so you can't really see. But I assume the reservoir is right here, which conveniently, zoom out to here. Also, let me enable some of surface tension so you guys can get a good idea of where that is. 4, 5, 6, and 7. There used to be a big hole here, but I put inbound there. And then we'll put Lambda complex right here. And then forget about Freeman. Yes, right there. So, so here is, where's surface tension 9? Did I not enable that? Oh, I didn't. Okay. Okay, here we go. So, there is a big gap right here. And it is the only part of the grid, because I've tried to fit most of the popular areas inside the grid, so at least you could have functionality. There's a giant gap right here between the last map of surface tension and the last map of Forget About Freeman. There is only one map that bridges it, and that is the underground portions of Forget About Freeman. However, because it's underground, we kind of have a decent amount of leeway. So we could probably stretch it to reach between these two. Anyways, I was thinking maybe we should put the river right here. The problem is... Oh yeah, Sepco, I've been working on this map for about 6 months now, I think. Ever since I stopped streaming Half Reality, or at least streaming regularly, I've been working on this. Mostly just for fun. Just to see if I can do it, right? And so far it's actually kind of working. I was thinking maybe we should put the river right here. Or at least the reservoir, you know? Because it's the only place we can put it. The problem is... well, Black Mesa has a lot of canals. Like, a lot of them. So it's very possible the river is... like, somewhat nearby. And then... it splits up into a bunch of canals, and then eventually those canals lead back into the dam, and then the dam outflows the water or something. I don't know. We really need to do research on like water mechanics and stuff, because it would be really nice to get this solid. If this does end up working really well, I'm probably going to use this map to make Half Reality. Which would be really cool, because we could have Gordon stick his head out of the map every once in a while and then get shot at by snipers and then go back underground to hide, you know. Rio Grande, as many parts, big metal X's to prevent cars or tanks from being swept downriver. Interesting. Exactly, Chunky. Where does all the water come from? Because the only river we can see is the surface tension cliffside. And that's pretty kind of far away. You assume that Black Mesa is above elevation in reference to that river, you know. it totally lines up and makes sense to use that river as an outflow, but where does the inflow come from? That is the question. Why would they pump the water up from the river just to put it in the dam? That's just a waste of energy, you know? Like, even I don't know a lot about water mechanics, but even I know, like, that's common sense. Mega pisser, indeed. Alright, so now let me disable most of surface tension again. Except, let's keep surface tension 8. And then we will cross our fingers once again and go back to, we'll go to wire, and then we'll go to Fulbright. Alright. Alright, so now, okay, here's the big gap. Okay, I think I see a solution. We could put the river, because we don't want the river to cross the airstrip, right? That's the other problem. This airstrip is really, really long. So, like, what was I going to say? We can't have the river come from this way. We just can't, unfortunately. Because you can't have a river go over or under an airstrip. I mean, you might be able to make a river go under an airstrip, actually. Can you? I swear I've seen, like, I think I was in Chicago O'Hare Airport once. I don't remember if it was that one or if it was a different major airport, but I swear there were those walking escalators, and those go under some runways. Lighting the map is going to be SOB. Look, towards the end of the stream, when I feel like I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to attempt to turn the lighting preview on, because it's actually beautiful. Now, you have to basically get rid of all the 2D skyboxes and just choose one of them, but all the lights work. So, oh, that's the other thing we need to do, is probably make day and night versions of all of them as well. Because I'm pretty sure there will be support for dynamic daylight mapping someday in Sandbox. I'm guessing, because you might be able to make a 2D skybox that can scroll or something. Maybe, you know what I mean? It might be possible. Breen is the mega pisser. Yes, indeed. So, towards the end of the stream, I'm going to turn on the lighting preview. The Source 2 actually has a pretty good lighting preview system. It's pretty nice. It doesn't work from long ranges, obviously, but from close, it does a pretty good job. And it ports the Source 1 lights pretty daggum okay. Like, they look, most of the maps look pretty good. They look about the same, so maybe they could use some better lights, but it's really hard to say, honestly. I think they're fine. Growing beard. The EAS to the Alright, I'm getting off track. What was I going to do next? I totally forgot. Right, the river. Okay, so I'm pretty sure you can build underneath a runway, which means you might be able to build, or at least divert water underneath a runway. And if that's possible, it solves a lot of our problems. But if that isn't something we can do, then what I suggest is using the existing terrain of this skybox and having a river come out of this way and have it be a dried up riverbed that goes through, like a dried up river that goes through the airstrip and then down this way, and then have a diverted river that goes this way and goes around the airstrip and then feeds into the dam. I think that would work. I think that's totally feasible. And the reason I say we need a drive-up riverbed is because Inbound has a drive-up riverbed for its skybox. At least I'm pretty sure it's a riverbed. And what I think would be cool would be to maybe carve out some of this residue processing here. Have the drive-up riverbed kind of cut through it as if this used to be the natural river, right? It kind of curves around this way, you know what I mean? And then they make the artificial one to go around the airstrip. That's what I think would probably be a good idea, hopefully. Dynamic light environment that rotates with a timer. I gotta start writing this stuff down, Mac, man. I don't know anything about this, so I guess I'll just use good old Trello. Oh, you know what? I'll show you guys the, well, I mean, never mind. We'll just stick with Trello. I kind of made a new website to store information in, but, I mean, it's, yeah, unfortunately, I can't get it open to the public. Like, only a limited number of people can see it, I think. So for now, let's see. So we're going to put your stuff in map suggestions. Thank you, MacMan. MacMan 2003. What was it called again? The cube map environment thing? Is it info cube map? I think that's what it is. End cube map, my bad. And then the other one you said was combined light probe volume. Thank you. Some new fancy source 2 entities. I need to make like an actual source 2 map one of these days instead of just porting source 1 maps. So I can actually learn how all these entities work. And then a dynamic light environment. Perhaps dynamic light environment that rotates with a timer. Useful order to attempt dynamic day-night system. Hello, Osiris. I hope I'm saying that right. New Mexico used to be an ocean? Really? I didn't know that. I suppose it makes sense. Maybe. For real though, maybe there's a big lake on the mesa, possibly fed by underground springs. That's not a bad idea, Sora. Let me write that down. Copy that though. Let me The other thing is that this empty space here, I kind of want to make actual Lambda complex, if that makes any sense. Black Mesa Hot Springs, right? Because here's the thing. The last map of Lambda Complex has to be placed at a very specific point. I'm sure you guys know why. It's these numbers right here. Literally, the entire choice of everything here revolves around Lambda Complex being at this place. Because it is the only way to make Super Portal work, apparently. Here's the thing, though. Look how close to the surface it is. And that's for good reason, because first you go down, right? Let me disable more pieces of things so we don't need to see, like, apprehension and or. Well, no, we need or. Let's get rid of, we got hostiles and shift and this as well. That'll work. That'll help us. So if we enable Lambda Complex, I kind of tried to line up Lambda Complex a bit here. Should I move my? I'll move my camera a little bit because why not? I'm not that important. All right, here we go. So. Where's, forget about Freeman. Oh no, I didn't get rid of it. Good. Okay, so it's still here. So we've got the elevator goes down. Now here's the thing. I'm fairly certain the entrance that Gordon goes through is not the main entrance to Lambda Complex. I'm pretty sure it's like the back cargo entrance. I'm fairly certain that survey team members don't go through Gordon's long freaking journey. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, especially given, it's like, look, it goes so far down and then it comes so far back up. Just the sheer length of the Lambda Complex reactor. I have to fix that. That's annoying. That shouldn't be too hard to fix, but I can just move that over so it's centered. But the sheer length of the reactor necessitates that it. I mean, it's Lambda Complex wouldn't be a skyscraper, right? So I had to make this really long. I don't know if you could tell. So this is where it originally is supposed to. See that right there? This is where it's supposed to originally come out of, and I had to double its length outwards. It would basically just make the elevator longer, right? That's not a huge issue. Just to get it all the way down here. Because otherwise, the teleporter would be up here. And it would be the highest building, besides residue processing, in the facility. And I mean, maybe that's feasible if you make like a giant concrete dome or something. But that's where Biodome is, right? We're going to do that with Biodome. We're not going to do that with... Lambda Complex is implied to be very deep, right? Lambda Complex should be deep and new. Right? I mean, the best alien petting zoo, indeed. Survey team members don't follow lots of physics and just teleport the Lambda. You're not wrong. The tram was out. Right. There's the other fun part. If we can get, if I can successfully compile this map, because I'm not going to continue this if I can't even get the map to compile. But if I can get it to compile, I'm going to have a blast making actual tram locations. Like a fully fledged tram system. I don't even want to think about the entity IO that we're going to have to do for that, but it'll be fun. I'm fairly certain that this door right here, where Shepard comes out of, is where, in my opinion, No, I don't know if this is that accurate, honestly. If we include decay, then I suppose the I can't remember what it's called. In decay, there's a giant machine that is used to gather specimens from Zen. It's on the surface for some reason. I don't know about that. In my opinion, there is one entrance and one exit to Zen, and that is this portal. And then maybe there is some slight offset they can do to make it easier to bring specimens home and to load cargo, right? And that's what I think this is. I don't know if you could tell, but this platform extends. When I'm pretty sure that is just to help load cargo into the portal easier. So I'm pretty sure back here is a staging area, a cargo space, and a high security tram route. And that high security tram route could probably lead directly to questionable ethics, in my opinion. Questionable ethics / biodome, because I'm pretty sure questionable ethics and biodome are very close to each other. Tram be central, like the NYC's up. That's what I was thinking, but like you also want to consider the roleplay aspect of things. People are going to have a terrible time when it comes to traveling. I am very much a person. Is it right to say I'm conservative in that view instead of liberal, I suppose? In the sense I want to give role players freedom. I'd rather give role players freedom than restrict them with rules, if that makes any sense. So what I think would be a good idea is to allow the freedom to do both, depending on what you feel like. For instance, I am a terrible role player, but I enjoy interacting and watching and witnessing roleplay interactions. So I get bored very easily. You could consider me Gary's Mod Minge. If I don't have something gameplay wise to do in a roleplay server, I will get bored and either leave or minge. You know what I mean? In my opinion, a good roleplay server is one that combines roleplay with gameplay. So what I think a good compromise would be is to include a tram maybe on a schedule or something, but then because why not, somehow make getting the displacer cannon very, very easy. Then people don't need to rely on the tram system if they don't want to. But the role players totally can, if that makes any sense. Fast travel, exactly. A somewhat semi-realistic excuse for fast travel. The displacer cannon, just a whole bunch of them for some reason. Like a gladiator. You know, that's not a bad idea, Yidis. I think that would be a funny event. Or just something for biodome workers to do when they're bored. Whenever they're not harvesting Xenians for bioweapons, you know. That's hilarious, actually, just like pit them against each other. Okay, whoever wins, we'll send you home. You know, like, whichever one of you guys wins, we'll send you back to Zen. We'll send you home. And then they don't send him home, and they just murder him instead. You know, there's so many possibilities. I like that, Yudis. I want to write that down. Let's see. Random personnel. The other thing I was thinking was that maybe the Lambda complex teleporter is the primary way to and from Earth to Zen, right? However, the reactor can also power. Would it be fair to say the reactor could also power local teleportation? For instance, there's a classified sealed room in questionable ethics that mentions there's like a warning sign on it, and it says, I can't remember what it is. We talked about it in the science channel, but I think the theory was that it has to do with teleportation, and I think maybe they get their specimens from that room. So maybe it's very possible that there is a classified room, probably near the like the observation biodome, maybe, that houses a local teleportation chamber. That way, it's a little bit more secure to get specimens from here to questionable ethics, because they're quite far away. It's unfortunate that I couldn't get them closer. I would have tried to put them almost right next to each other, but just the way that it all kind of lined up in the end, this is just the best compromise I could come up with. Generic scientist, yeah, that's what I was thinking, generic. Like, I mean, like, Black Mesa freaking disobeys so many different OSHA violations. This isn't half reality. I should probably say it. I should probably mention that. This isn't half reality. We can kind of do whatever we want with Iwata's pet project, which we call Mesa Box, right? It doesn't have to be canon, right? We could totally just make a whole bunch of displacer cannons for no reason. You know what I mean? And then you could totally sell them on the black market to random civilians. Like, smuggle them out of the facility. You know, like, there's so much potential, honestly, in my opinion. Like, not even including, like, expeditions to Zen. There is so much to do on Earth, in my opinion. Roleplay wise, like, there's so many possibilities. It's, in my opinion, so much more potential than like Dark RP or any of your generic roleplay stuff. You know what I mean? Anyways, so high security tram to manually transport things, and then I don't know about a local teleport. We'll see. In my opinion, now I guess we could open up some Zen maps real quick. To speculate that. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss while I still have this map open? Because I am considering closing it and looking at some Zen maps. Let's see. Swimming competition. Yeah, I mean, swimming competition. Yeah, I mean, like, if we maybe not necessarily the radioactive river, but depending on how this artificial river goes, you could totally have swimming competitions in it. I like that idea. I'm gonna make that an event idea. I love it. I'm so glad I started streaming again. I'm starting to realize how much I missed it. I'm so glad I did this. Yeah, kind of like. Yeah, oh yeah. Ooh, good idea. Oh my, so many good ideas. I'm not the creative type, so I'm really glad I'm sharing this with you guys. Yeetus. Alright, so MacMan, map idea. We'll put that here for tram tunnels can go through a river bottom, Bioshock like glass ceilings and whatnot. Also, a fun fact, if it wasn't super obvious, apprehension is below the dam. And it totally makes sense as to why apprehension is so heavily flooded now. Probably just from groundwater alone. Barnacle tongue bungee jumping. That would be interesting to code, but I bet it would be a blast, Edith. Honestly, I mean, you guys are coming up with good ideas. I should have done this earlier. These are amazing. Oh my gosh, you guys are on fire today. Bungee jump. I love that. It's amazing. Belaperture Mesa. Oh, I agree, Generic. It's really cool to see them all connected. Oh yeah, Sora. Oh, for sure. Like, Half-Life likes to take itself seriously, but the way me and Iwata experienced Black Mesa roleplay, and maybe some of you guys did too, it was just a mixture of good roleplay and then just utter chaos. Like, oh my gosh. I remember one of my favorite moments, one of my most memorable moments was when Iwata was telling me a story about how they lured an ocean inspector, right? The ocean inspector's coming, everybody hide your secret experiments and your questionably ethic things, right? So ocean inspector's here, everyone's scrambling to hide their freaking stuff, right? And the security personnel lure the ocean inspector to an elevator shaft, and then I think they crucify, set him on fire, and then hang him from the elevator shaft or something. Like, it's hilarious. The security personnel, who are the most disciplined and rule-abiding people, usually, are the ones who get rid of the ocean inspector. Like, it's amazing. Oh, let me show you guys what Iwata made for me before, just for fun. Let me see if I can find it. Oh gosh. Oh, here we go. PDN. What do you open a PDN with? I don't know. Can I open it with Photoshop? I'm gonna try it in Photoshop. Paint.net? Okay. Hopefully Photoshop will work, because that'd be nice. But I would have made the perfect example of what I picture. Okay, yeah, never mind. Alright, then Paint.net, I'll give that a try. Open with... Oh gosh. Paint, I think this one. Oh, maybe not. Attention, there is an ocean inspector coming in through the main door. Everybody freaking hide. Go for it. Just either, if I don't see your idea here, put it in the validator channel, because, oh man, I'm going crazy trying to get all these ideas down. So Paint didn't work. I guess we'll look through the Microsoft Store to get an idea of what we need. Okay, yeah, I just need to get this anyways. No, I'm not paying for it. Zip lining, bungee jumping, barnacle tongues, dog competition. You could do like a pet grooming competition with Hound Eyes. We could give Hound Eyes cosmetics. I like that idea. That would be amazing, honestly. Baby Gargs. Oh, Baby Gargantuas. Just the idea of that is actually a really good thing. I haven't actually fleshed out the Gargantua very much. So, there are two Xenians that I want to restrict that players can't just do, and that would be the Gunark and the Gargantua. In my opinion, to create a Gargantua, you basically Xenians, like Xenians with their interloper factory and humans need to work together and just create biomass. And by that I mean kill things, like a lot. And then they dump all the bodies. Oh gosh, I don't know. But basically, in my opinion, to create a Garnark, you need a lot of dead bodies or something. Or something like that. And then you can... I don't know if you could become it, but maybe you could create an NPC Garnark. And it will just spawn head crabs or something. I don't know. Something interesting. Gargantua, I was thinking kind of the same thing, but maybe less effort intensive. Like, you could grind out and make a Gargantua on your own, but it would take a while, you know? The thing is, like, I mean, thankfully, most of the surface would be, well, surface. But the Gargantua can't just go anywhere. It's really big. Oh, yeah. Baby Gargantua, that's an interesting idea. I'm not totally sure about it because I'm fairly certain Gargantuas are manufactured, just like the grunts. I mean, we can open the model viewer. Okay, I need to close this map. Does anyone have anything they want to mess around with or see before I move on? Also, let me show you on a rail real quick, I suppose. Let me turn off Lambda Complex. And show you guys on a rail extended and how far, like, just how far I had to go. Here is, we've got hostiles, by the way. We've got hostiles and apprehension. Where is it? The third map of we've got hostiles and the third map of apprehension share a very, very similar skybox. I lined them up and it turns out they're right next to each other. So that's what I did. Let me turn on their skyboxes. Here is, where is, hold on. Where'd it go? Here we go. Here's the we've got hostile skybox. And then here is that apprehension skybox. It is incredibly similar, right? They line up. They freaking line up. I don't know what it was about Crowbar Collective, but this is really cool. Most of these just happen to line up pretty well, and it's just super neat. Anyways, if you go from apprehension to sorry, I meant we've got where is it? There's so many maps I get lost. Okay, we've got hostiles, and then we'll do 2 and then 1 so you guys can see how I did that. Oh, I got rid of them. Never mind. I'm gonna have to, oh gosh, that's unfortunate. I'll show you guys later then. I deleted them, but I have an earlier save while they're still lined up. But basically, Blast Pit is huge, and it's right here. And then it leads through, and then I basically stretched out on a rail, and which also makes sense as to why portions of on a rail are flooded, right? Because it's underneath the dam. This on a rail stretches out, and then it goes up to here. I'm really pleased with how it turned out, honestly. So much of this lines up. Let me show you guys real quick before we stop. Here's the, what's it called? The second map of surface tension. you can see the 2 connection points where they used to be, and I had to change them because it just wouldn't work. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of the skybox that came with this one. Where did I put it anyways? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I wish I still had the skybox for it because it goes out quite a ways, and unfortunately it just doesn't fit with everything else. The normal map fits just fine on its own. I mean, we'll have to fix it a little bit because it looks like it's clipping into some of these, but here's what I'm most excited about. Okay, so here is the cliffside map. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. That's annoying. And then here is, we'll have to remove some of this geometry to make it work, but the view is virtually the same. A few snarks and a whole pack of lighting preview, right? Build a car. The nice thing is, it doesn't quite line up with what the original skybox looked like in Black Mesa Blue Shift. I actually lined it up like vertex to vertex, and it turns out that the Blue Shift skybox is like right, oh, I can't remember exactly. It's right around here. The Blue Shift skybox is almost at the floor. It's like right around here in this orientation. Unfortunately, that's not going to work because it's just too far away. You know what I mean? So I put it up here. It's virtually the same view, but with the added benefit. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but where is the freaking... Here we go. It's kind of hard to tell, but this mesa right here lines up with the surface tension pipe when you enter the map for the first time. See that? And it makes the Black Mesa symbol, right? I always thought that was cool, but the best part is it also lines up with the Blue Shift cafeteria, which is like even better. I mean, look at that. That is so cool. Anyways, this road is going to be interesting, honestly. We're going to have to extend this road and then push it down this mountainside, like over here maybe, and then we could hook it up to this underground highway right here. This thing. It'd be really cool to connect that, honestly. Make it like one of the, maybe not the main entrance, but like one of the main entrances to Black Mesa is through this this bunker right here. Oh gosh, I'm so... Okay, so now we go this way. Blue Shift cafeteria, go through all this junk. It's not junk, by the way, this is awesome. Oh, another really cool thing is that this is remarkably close to... Where is it? Questionable ethics. Which means... Oh, it's like right on top of it, yeah. Which means... That's the transit center. Where's the... Where was I just... I can't... Here we go. There are some biohazard signs in this area. And I always thought, oh man, it'd be really cool if we could put questionable ethics near this. And it turned out to just line up pretty close. Anyways, so honestly, I think we could put the biodome complex from opposing force right here. And then this leads to it. This this area with the glass and the funny fancy bridge. This could go to the biodome complex, and it could be like right here. And then the biodome complex is already very close to questionable ethics. It just works out. I love it. All right, I'm getting really distracted. So we go this way. Now normally this elevator makes you go down, but unfortunately that would cause a lot of problems. I trust me, I tried. So instead, we'll have it go up. And then that leads just like it normally would. with the rest of the maps. So this is a transit maintenance center. Oh, is it gonna crash? Uh-oh. Oh, it didn't. Okay, it was auto-saving. Oh, hey, One Epic. That is correct, Empress of Light. I have successfully put every Black Mesa map into one source 2 map, and living quarters outbound and insecurity as well from Blue Chef. I put them all in here, which is crazy that source 2 can handle this. Anyways, from here on, it's just like the rest of the games, right? Unfortunately, this is a problem. You can see the connection point from here to here, but it gets cut right here by this tram. So we're gonna have to figure out some way to hack this together, because it would be nice to have this tram just continue and actually go somewhere instead of just ram right smack into these maps. But yeah. And instead of going directly to the dam like you would from here, I just cut it off and then put it right over here. Oh no, not that one. This one. It's over there now, right? So we'll just connect it by tram all the way over there. So unfortunately, you won't be able to take the same exact maintenance tunnels that Barney took, but that's not a huge issue in my opinion. I mean, we could put the Blue Shift dam stuff. We could maybe put it like right here, honestly. There are some buildings right here. Maybe we could connect them and stick them right here or something. I don't know. Anyways, let me enable the rest of this particle labs and everything. Does that cut into, what is this? I totally forgot. This is the second map is surface tangent. We'll have to fix that. It clips a bit. It's not a huge deal. And then from there, we go to Black Mesa inbound one right there, right? We go this way instead. And that leads to inbound 2, which goes right here. This is a little weird. Let me think this through in my head. No, this is okay. You can have this dirt come up and then just come right back down, maybe. And then that could make these windows natural. It would be nice to make these windows natural, you know what I mean? I suppose we could try to raise this up, but it would honestly would cause too many problems, especially because it's connected to all this stuff. Where is inbound 2 skybox that connects up there? The real question is why? Black Mesa roleplay. I'm going to attempt to put every map and then compile it to see if it works. From there, I'm going to remove all the unnecessary maps, like on a rail, like most of on a rail, apprehension, power up, blast pit. But then every surface map will be at the same time. You can access any surface map by walking. That's my plan. Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking, Epic. You're not wrong. This is probably a fruitless endeavor. Honestly, it's probably fruitless. But the whole point is to reasonably accurately make a not a surface, a surface, a walkable surface for the Black Mesa Research Facility. But then make most of it inaccessible and or low detail or something. Because there's one thing that me and I really want, and that is vehicles that actually need to travel far and not just some crappy cars, like aircraft, for instance. Like aircraft can move very fast, and in Source 1, like aircraft just wasn't really practical, honestly, just because the maps are so small anyways, or at least the hammer grid. I'm curious too. Let me finish discussing this, I suppose. Okay, so there's that, and then we'll go to inbound 3. I think I had to cut this a little bit. Yeah, I had to extend this tunnel. Right, we'll extend this tunnel later. And then let me start removing some of these maps. And then I also have to extend analysis materials. This tunnel right here, I gotta make this one longer. But you can see, like, it just a little bit longer, and then it lines up. There's anomalous materials, and then there's AMS, and then I included the first map of unforeseen consequences, because the rest of the unforeseen consequences maps, if I remember correctly, are kinda not very coolant related and more canal related, and it's not super necessary. Whereas you could probably do something with roleplay wise with a pre-disaster version of unforeseen consequences 1. I'm pretty sure you could do something with this. It's the only mention of coolant besides Blue Shift, I believe, so it would be useful, I think. Anyways, from there I connected all of them, and then it comes out to we've got hostiles. I'll show you guys later, because if I tried to open up the map, open up the Source 2 map that actually had all of the Black Mesa maps in it, I would not be this, I would be so much more careful. You wouldn't see block lights. I'd have to do this. I'd probably have to do it in wireframe, honestly, just because it's taking me this long to get this far anyways. The funny thing is, collapsing, I mean, you're not wrong, One Epic. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that Hammer, I'm pretty sure the limit is 1 gigabyte for a map, if I'm not mistaken. I did a test collapse of all the prefabs of every single map into one, and it was 900,000 megabytes, no, kilobytes, which is just under a gig. I'm pretty sure the only reason I couldn't compile it was because I didn't have enough RAM, because it kept saying out of memory. I mean, I got rid of, like, all the Q maps for one. There were 4,000 Q maps. I just got rid of all of them, and we'll just put some in manually later, because there's no way. There's just not going to be any reflections. Like, what is it? 144 Q map limit for Sandbox? I can't remember. Anyways. Alright, let's do a lighting preview. This is going to be really sketchy. So, let me go to wire before my game crashes. We're going to enable entities, and then we're going to turn off everything except lighting. Oh gosh, it's lagging. Let's probably keep info on. I think info might contribute to lighting. I can't remember for sure. Particles, dynamic, yeah, all that stuff. We'll get rid of, well, we'll keep block light. And we'll keep static props disabled. Okay, let's start with this one first. Okay, so full bright. Okay. Map streaming exists. Oh, that's where, like, you can use multiple computers to compile, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe they'll add support for it someday, but we'll see. Yeah, BMRP in Gary's mod is, I mean, in my opinion, it's fun, but it's just restricted by its, source one, honestly. I'm really excited to see how BMRP will work in source 2. Anyways, alright, let's turn on lighting preview. Okay. Prepare. Hey, I think the reason you're seeing a lot of red right now is because I still have to fix some faces, and also because end sprite doesn't work at all. It's possible maybe we could make a shader that does do it, but I'm not a programmer, and even then I suspect that end sprite is just straight up broken, even if you do get a shader that would work for it, because in Half-Life Alyx, I think there's a shader that you're supposed to use with end sprite, but even then it doesn't work, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, the lighting preview is decent, I think. Tasty. I refuse to turn on static props. I'm pretty sure that'll just break everything. I'm pretty sure we can rely on roughness for most reflections, I think, given we're not going to be dealing with cube maps. I think. Ooh, that's pretty. Very nice. Alright. That's what I was thinking, MacMan, but I don't know Python. And I think I could do it manually. It would just, honestly, just doing, I think it was it glow01 or just glow with no number at the end. Just doing that one would do most of the end sprites possible. That, and we need a lens flare entity. Requires trig, so no. Would that mean it need like a geometry shader or something? That sounds scary. Here is AMS. I bet we could make some higher resolution roughness maps. It wouldn't be that difficult, I think. Okay, I'm going to, before I turn on static props, let's go explore some other maps. Alright, what do you guys want to see next? Let's see. Let's go to dormitories. And I will orient myself so I'm not looking at the rest of everything else. And we will turn on lighting preview. Is it lagging or is it okay? I can't tell. Okay, looks alright. Ooh, pretty lights. Black Mesa during its construction phase, indeed. That red line is a broken face. That's easy to fix, I think. Just select all faces and then like there's a remove bad faces function, and then it just somehow takes care of the problem. I'm not super familiar with exactly what it does, but okay. So now let's go to, where should we go next? I know that Blue Shift has some fantastic stuff. Okay, so this way, and then I'm trying to navigate by memory mostly. Oh, we gotta turn it on. Hold on. Wait, can I do inverse selection if I do alt click maybe? No, that didn't work. Control doesn't do it either. Shift? No. That's unfortunate. I kind of wanted. Let me just go through here and start hiding everything, because why not? That'll make things easier. QE, surface tension, hostiles, forget about Freeman, and then this and this, and this. There we go. So now we've got, there we go, that's what I'm looking for. So now if we go like this, lighting preview, and I will turn on static props. Now, just to see. Alright, static props. There we go. Very nice. I don't know why that's doing... Oh, you know what? I think that's because it must be having a stroke with the block lights. But that's the sun bleeding through the ground. But I think I can fix that. Okay, and then there's that. Very nice. Very, very nice. And then there's the hacky stuff I was trying to do earlier. We'll figure that out later. And then there's this. I still have to like compile this water or something. But yeah, like it's decent, honestly. Like most of these turn out pretty well. Reflections of hammer are different from what is compiled. Yeah. Work around to be very stingy cube maps, like one per room. Yeah. Alright, and then I was having fun trying to like make rooms accessible before. And then we go up. And then we go this way, I think. Yeah, here's the... Is this the, yeah, the security room or whatever. Go to the range. Pretty good. Let's... What should we look at next? Let's go to... Oh, let's get rid of surface tension 8. That's probably a good idea. And then we'll go to... Let's check out the first couple maps. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Where is it? Oh, I left it here. I forgot to move it. Well, that would explain it. Okay, let's go this way. I'll have to move it then. I totally forgot. This is pretty. Oh my gosh. I'm like this is half decent, and it's this hammer preview. Like I would not mind having this level of detail, and then just roleplay. You know what I mean? That's broken. We're gonna have to fix that. What's next? Oh gosh. We've got hostiles. Why not? Very pretty. Very nice. We're gonna have to fix the 2D skyboxes. I don't know if you guys can tell from the resolution, but the top portion is fuzzy, but then like the sides are great. It's kind of funky. You can tell it more as you look up. It gets weird right here, but very, very nice. And then we'll go to what's next? We'll go to On a Rail Extended, which is a night map. Oh, right here. There we go. On a Rail Uncut. I'm sorry. Very nice. Then we'll go to Ore 3. This is interesting. I wonder how that's going to work. We'll have to figure that out. I think that's the wrong 2D skybox. I think Source 2 is getting confused at the amount of 2D skyboxes that are present, because I haven't gotten rid of them all yet. I'm pretty sure this works. Let me turn on, I think it's dynamic. There we go. Yeah, this works. This works pretty fine. That's an overlay. I gotta switch out for a static overlay, I think. Oh, that needs an info lighting, I think. What's next? We've got apprehension. The man. Is this broken? No, I don't think it's broken. It's just, it feels Fulbright to me, or am I retarded? No, this is Fulbright. Oh, you know, it must be the sunlight bleeding through the walls. Oh, never mind, it's not. Okay, whatever. This is honestly, Apprehension's weird, because like, there are tunnels here that are the same as the Lambda Complex tunnels. You could reasonably maybe connect them, you know, but... And there's lots of military equipment here, too. So, like, maybe it was a surplus storage area. But it's funny, because, like, they landed a chopper here, even though... Isn't there a hole in it? Oh, there's no hole in this. Okay. There's a hole in this one, though. Which is, I don't know, it's weird. Like, maybe this is a result of the cascade, but, like... I don't know. Sometimes Black Mesa's architecture designs don't make sense to me. What would the little biodome and QE look like? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's go take a look. Questionable ethics. Right here. We'll go through every map of residue processing in the meantime. Where am I going? Oh, it's gonna crash, I think. I turned on too many maps at once. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, baby, don't crash on me. It might crash. But that's okay, because I kind of wanted to show you guys some other things. Okay. Alright, well now we can, I don't know, go do some... Oh, it's 1 p.m. Maybe I should take a break. I mean, go to sleep. What do we want to do tomorrow? Or at least the next stream, I suppose. I think we wanted to look at the Zen, or just speculate about it in general. And then I think I wanted to show you guys the abandoned underground portions. Yeah, I can do that in a different stream. I'm glad I pushed the stream button, because this was very, very fun. If you made a color-coded and labeled image of this map, it would actually be a really helpful resource in keeping the layout of this facility. I agree. I suppose what I could do is I could replace... What I could do is I could copy every single map and the directories, but then change the prefix to be, instead of BM or MB, make it like... what's a good two-letter like prefix for? Because then I could go through and just I could compile a version of the map. Well, render a version of the map that's only the displacements and brushes and geometry, no static props. And then I could export it as an FBX. And that would probably make it easier to... From there, I could create like a height map. I could create... From there, it's a lot less restricted. If I could export an FBX. Now, I'm not going to do that right now with like each map and its entities, and it's just, that would be a nightmare. But yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Sora. As far as cube maps go, MacMan, RF, I like it. Thank you. Yeah, RF, and then the geometry only. As far as cube maps go, honestly, MacMan, the fact that we can only have 144 of them, in my opinion, that means we need to save the cube maps for the most beautiful / memorable parts of the facility, and where water is. Maybe only where water is. Because I'm pretty sure water needs cube maps in order to look even half decent, right? Whereas everything else can kind of get away with not having cube maps, maybe. We could put one cube map every, I don't know what the freaking square root of freaking 10,000 is, but we could do, you know, every 10,000 hammer units we could place a cube map, and maybe that'd be like 64 cube maps for the surface. Like we'd put cube maps on the surface of Black Mesa, not underground, and then we put the rest of the cube maps where the water is or something. We could figure something out. We just have to be, because per room, that's not gonna work. I'm pretty sure there are more than 144 rooms. Maybe, actually maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there would be enough if we did 1 cube map per room. Specular and reflections kind of break. Yeah, I figured. So maybe, oh gosh, we'll have to figure something out. But I think, oh dang, really? So you can't even do like the hammer preview thingy maybe? I mean, maybe, I don't know, some kind of setting. Perhaps we could have somebody program like an alternate form of cheap cube map to bypass it. I don't know. I'm not a programmer. I'm really not that. I'm an animator, man. I'm not. All I've got on my side is passion and money. All right. Well, I gotta go poop. It was really fun. I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I got over my fear of streaming. For whatever reason, I've just been so unreluctant for so long. Maybe I'll go through later and try to make timestamps for stuff. That would probably be a good idea for the people who, you know, couldn't make it to this live stream. Because I've live streamed for 2 hours at like midnight my time. So I'm really not sure. People are probably going to be disappointed if, because I couldn't be here. I want to make that up to them by like making a table of contents, make navigating this long rant easier. Thanks, Sci-Fi Freak. Night, guys. Oh yeah. I've been working on that map for almost 6 months, and the reason it's taken so long is just because, I mean, you saw how laggy it was. Can only render certain chunks of maps at the same time, and then I have to extrapolate where they are and stuff like that. So, parented, low priority. I didn't know that. Really? That is interesting. You can parent cube. What? So you could parent a cube map inside someone's freaking head. I mean, wouldn't that just, that would work, right? That's weird. I don't know how that would work. Whatever. Anyways, I gotta poop. It's bad. All right. Good night, guys, or good morning, depending where you are.